a very nice little 32 caliber squirrel rifle. Well, you know, Caleb, just like what you always wanted. But he wanted it in flint, and unfortunately, this one is a cap. But very cool for what it is. It is definitely a gun of its era. These things were made in Dayton, Ohio, and I can just imagine some Ohio farmer had fairly well to do, evidently, got one of these very nice rifles for hunting, for game. Because this one, as soon as we're done filming, actually is going to start the working process. Alright, very first thing we have to do, Caleb needs to take this into the machine shop, clean this up, and re-weld the tang back into place, the most important part. While he's doing that, I am going to have this stock over at my place, and I will be putting it in my wood on my wood glue table, putting it in the clamps, getting all the small dings glued up on it. We will be taking and polishing the corrosion off of anywhere, but not the patina that needs to be. We will be taking the lock and the trigger completely apart, down to the bolts, and we will be ultrasonic cleaning it. I will also be taking a file and cleaning up the sharp edges on this hammer. We will be getting when Caleb has this in the shop, he will be getting that nipple out, getting it cleaned out. It has a ramrod stuck in it, as we said before. We're going to get that out. And also while he's there, he's going to take this trigger, and we will already have it clear apart and cleaned. And this back trigger needs to be stretched forward just ever so slightly so that it has enough meat to engage the front trigger again. This thing has obviously been set off and pulled so many times in its life, whether it was being fired or someone was just fooling with the set triggers, that it has worn a round spot on that and will no longer grab. So that's the metal work that's going to be done. The woodwork that will be done, we will polish and clean all these screws up, and hopefully this time next week you will see us out shooting this, what is obviously a very fine, even though it's been well used over the years and well taken care of, well repaired, we will be shooting this fine 32 caliber JM Burns squirrel rifle. Alright guys, she's done. 5 coats of linseed oil, 1 coat of paste wax, 1 coat of Alfie shine. This gun is complete. Shoots a 310 round ball with an 1/18 inch patch and weighs 18 pounds with that inch octagon barrel and 32 caliber hole. Hello everybody, I'm Garrett and you're watching 11 Bang Bang. Today we have out the Burns rifle. This is a 32 caliber, heavy barreled, long kind of target rifle. And it's made by J.M. Burns in Dayton, Ohio in the year of 1850 to 1855, I believe. But we're gonna do a little bit of a ladder test. Hopefully we don't have to do much of a sight in, but we don't know what powder they were using in the 1850s or how much they were using in this particular rifle. And so we're going to do a little bit of a ladder test. We're going to start down at 20 grains and then increase by 5 grains and see if there's a spot between 20 and 35 where this gun hits better than any others. We'll just see how well it shoots. This is the first shot we've actually taken on target with this gun. So without further ado, we are shooting a .310 round ball, and we are using cotton, which I don't usually encourage people to use. I usually like a thicker pellet ticking, but we're just using the white thin cotton patches at 15 or .15. And the reason we're doing that is you don't have to worry about it so much when you're dealing with such light charges, because a lot less chance you're going to burn it out. All right, so we are at 50 yards with 20 grains, and I've already got this thing set. The way this gun works is you have to set the trigger to cock it. I did all that beforehand. Don't worry, it's pointed in a safe direction. This thing has an extremely hair trigger, and at 50 yards, I'm going to attempt to put that black sight on a black target and see what happens. We are going to go see. This gun is so heavy. I've had this gun at on 2 different scales. One says 18, one says 16. Bear in mind it has a 1 pound brass ramrod we made for it, but it's so front heavy that if I let go, it's just gonna fall out of this. So we're gonna take it out every time. Of course we have to load it, but I'm gonna run over there, we'll bring the camera with us and we'll see just where that hit. And then if that hit kind of in a good spot, we'll try shooting a group. Well, we are shooting incredibly high, evidently, right here. Like I said, at 50 yards, I cannot see anything but this black target as a spot on that sight. But I'm doing my best to hold center, which tells me maybe this is a target rifle that's sighted in for 100 yards, but we won't know until we shoot another shot or two and see if it groups up there or not. Okay, shot number 2, 20 grains. We also added a piece of white paper to the center of the target so I could actually see what I was aiming at. And if you guys are worried, don't worry, I'm not pulling this clear into my shoulder. It's no big deal. Just so long as the sights are perfectly lined up and steady. Little hair trigger. Okay guys, so we're probably gonna go ahead and fire 4 shots in this group because now I actually have something I can see in that white piece of target there. So here we go. This is shot number 3, and then we'll make a shot number 4. Okay guys, so we're gonna take a 4th shot here. Hopefully we split the gap. It looks like we're about a 3-inch group at the moment, which we can definitely work on. Hair trigger. Okay guys, what you're looking at here is the 4-shot group. As you can see, we have 3 shots in a semi-decent group stringing up and down. Those are the last 3. This one way up high is my first shot that I took before we added the white center. So that's on me. So we skipped the 25 because I think we're going to be all right going straight up to 30. We shot about a 3-inch group there. I think we can tighten that up considerably by speeding the ball up. We will see. All right, so 30 grain charge. We're stepping her up just a hair. This is pretty common load for a 32, 30 grain charge. That one moved around a little more. Shot number 2, 30 grain. There we go. A little bit of a hang fire, but that was because we put a little oil down the barrel and scrubbed it. 32 does actually foul out faster, I think, than 36 and 40, just because it's such a small bore. As you guys can see, I'm doing nothing to the rifle except for very minute adjustments back here. I'm not holding it. I'm literally putting it where it needs to be and then just touching the trigger. So this is none of me. That was it. Now let's go see what we got. Guys, so what we got is 2 groups, and I don't know how I pulled it off, but I got 2 in the same hole there, 1 there, and 1, 2, 3 over here. This one down here was a terrible flyer because I had a bad hang fire. It was bad enough I really let off the back of the stock thinking it wasn't gonna go, and then it went. So I don't know why I've got two groups other than maybe the sun changed its position, something like that, because they're both about identical. I mean, there's 2 rounds in that one hole right there. And I mean, you could easily have gotten one of these 2 rounds into it, but overall, they're both about inch groups. Maybe this one's 1.5 inches. And I don't know if I could do any better. I thought about moving these sights over, and then I noticed that there are some very old witness marks in those sights that were put there probably 170 years ago. That's where they wanted it to shoot. And so I'm not going to adjust that. That's part of the story of the gun, in my opinion. And I really believe that at 100 yards, this is gonna fall down into here. And like I said, I don't know why one group aiming in the exact same place, I shoot a group here, and then aiming in the exact same place, I shoot a group here. Could be the sun's sinking down lower, changing the way I'm looking at the target back there at 50 yards. Could just be me, I don't know. Also bear in mind, a lot of times guns like that, they've had 170 to 175 years on that gun for the rifling to erode just a little bit. And it's still in pretty good shape, but I don't have a bore scope to look all the way down there. All in all, I have to say that these 2 little groups here, especially the one with 2 brown ball in the same hole right there, is not a bad deal. It would definitely be a squirrel killer if you wanted to do that. This is never gonna be a heavy duty hunting gun for us, so we're just gonna leave it the way it is. 20 grains, we had a group that big, and with 30 grains, we shrunk the group down to there and there, down to 1 inch. And that's good enough for me at 50 yards. Squirrels usually get killed at 25 yards. So there is that. The only trouble is at 25 yards, you're gonna get even higher. So I honestly believe this is a long range gun. Unfortunately, my 100-yard deal isn't set up right now. Maybe we'll do that another day. But this is a long range gun. I feel somebody had this thing sighted in for a 100-yard shooting. And it does pretty well, as you can see. So as always, trust in God, keep your powder dry. Bye.